States of matter. There are three major states of matter in which any given type of matter can exist. The three states are gas, liquid, and solid, shown here. Solids are defined by the following characteristics: definite shape, or it will hold its shape, definite volume, and the particles vibrate in place. Liquids have the following characteristics: no definite shape, it takes the shape of its container, it has definite volume, and the particles are free to move over each other, but are still attracted to each other. Gases have the following characteristics: there's no definite shape, or they take the shape of its entire container, no definite volume, it takes the volume of its container, and the particles move in random motion with little or no attraction to each other. How tightly atoms and molecules are packed together is referred to as density. Solids are denser than liquids. Liquids are denser than gases. What is heat? Heat is the transfer of thermal energy between substances. Thermal energy is the energy causing the particles of matter to move. Temperature is the average measure of that energy. Thermal energy always moves from matter with greater thermal energy to matter with less thermal energy. So it moves from warmer to cooler substances. You can see this in the next figure. Here we have A and B, and there are different temperatures. A is warmer than B. So A is warmer than B. Faster moving particles of the warmer substance bump into and transfer some of that energy to slower moving particles of the cooler substance. Thermal energy is transferred in this way until both substances have the same average thermal energy and temperature. As thermal energy is transferred, materials expand and the temperature increases. As temperatures decrease, and materials tend to contract. The density of a substance is temperature dependent and usually decreases as temperature increases. Density is an important physical property of matter. It reflects how closely packed the particles are along with the arrangement of the particles in matter. For instance, a golf ball and a table tennis ball are about the same size. However, the golf ball is much heavier than the table tennis ball. Now imagine a similar size ball made out of lead. That would be very heavy indeed. What are we comparing? By comparing the mass of an object relative to its size, we are studying a property called density. Matter with less density will rise, and matter with greater density will sink. How do you cool down a glass of room temperature cola? You probably add ice cubes to it, as in this picture. You might think that the ice cubes cool down the cola, but in fact it works the other way around. The warm cola heats up the ice. Thermal energy from the warm cola is transferred to the much colder ice, causing it to melt. The cola loses thermal energy in the process, so its temperature falls. Changes in states of matter. A change of state occurs whenever matter changes from one form to another. For example, a solid changing to a liquid. This change is an effect of energy being transferred from one substance to another. Changes of state are physical changes, meaning they do not change how molecules are combined. For example, when fog changes to water vapor, it is still water, H2O, and can change back to liquid water again. Matter can change back and forth between these states. As energy in a substance is transferred, it may cause a change in its state. In the previous example, ice was added to a cola. The energy was transferred from the warmer cola to the cooler ice. This caused the ice to melt and change from a solid to a liquid. Types of phase changes. Melting occurs when particles of a solid absorb enough energy to partly overcome the force of attraction holding them together. This allows them to move out of their fixed positions and slip over one another. The solid becomes a liquid. The process in which water or any other liquid changes to a solid is called freezing. Freezing occurs when a liquid cools to a point at which its particles no longer have enough energy to overcome the force of attraction between them. Instead, the particles remain in fixed positions, crowded closely together. When air cools, it can hold less water vapor, so some of the water vapor in the air changes to liquid water. The process in which water vapor, or another gas, changes to a liquid is called condensation. Another common example of condensation is pictured in the next figure. This picture shows the contrail or condensation trail left behind by a jet. Water vapor and its exhaust gases condense on dust particles in the air. Evaporation is the process in which a liquid changes to a gas. It occurs when individual liquid particles at the exposed surface of the liquid absorb just enough energy to overcome the force of attraction with other liquid particles. If the surface particles are moving in the right direction, they will pull away from the liquid and move into the air, becoming a gas.